So, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada and the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, this is an invitation to travel to Vamsivat on the banks of the Jamuna River in Vrindavan to attend the Rasa dance through the medium of transcendental sound vibrations. Let us proceed. Jai. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 33, texts 17 through 25 from Krishna book. While Krishna was enjoying the company of the gopis in the rasa dance, the astonished demigods and their wives gathered in the sky. The moon, being afflicted with a sort of lust, began to watch the dance and became stunned with wonder. The gopis had prayed to the goddess Katyayani to have Krishna as their husband. Now, Krishna was fulfilling their desire by expanding himself in as many forms as there were gopis and enjoying them exactly as a husband. Srila Sukadeva Goswami has remarked that Krishna is self-sufficient. He is Atmarama. He doesn't need anyone else for his satisfaction. Because the gopis wanted Krishna as their husband, he fulfilled their desire. When Krishna saw that the gopis were tired from dancing with him, he immediately began to smear his hands over their faces so that their fatigue would be satiated. In order to reciprocate the kind hospitality of Krishna, the gopis began to look at him lovingly. They were overjoyed by the auspicious touch of the hand of Krishna. Their smiling cheeks shone with beauty, and they began to sing the glories of Krishna with transcendental pleasure. As pure devotees, the more the gopis enjoyed Krishna's company, the more they became enlightened with his glories, and thus they reciprocated with him. They wanted to satisfy Krishna by glorifying his transcendental pastimes. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all masters, and the gopis wanted to worship him for his unusual exhibition of mercy upon them. Samapriya, can we have another reader, please?
Yes. Akurnath, would you like to begin?
Unmute, Prabhu. Unmute. Akurnath, you have to unmute.
I thought I did.
No,
Both the gopis and Krishna entered the water of the Jamuna just to relieve their fatigue from the rasa dance. The lily flower garlands around the necks of the gopis were strewn to pieces due to their embracing the body of Krishna, and the flowers were reddish from being smeared with the kumkum on their breasts. The bumblebees were humming about in order to get honey from the flowers. Krishna and the gopis entered the water of the Jamuna just as an elephant enters a water tank with his many female companions. Both the gopis and Krishna forgot their real identity, playing in the water, enjoying each other's company, and relieving the fatigue of rasa dancing. The gopis began to splash water on the body of Krishna, all the while smiling, and Krishna enjoyed this. As Krishna was taking pleasure in the joking words and splashing water, the demigods in the heavenly planets began to shower flowers. The demigods thus praised the super excellent rasa dance of Krishna, the supreme enjoyer, and his pastimes with the gopis in the water of Jamuna. After this, Lord Krishna and the gopis came out of the water and began to stroll along the bank of the Jamuna, where a nice breeze was blowing, carrying the aroma of different kinds of flowers over the water and land. While strolling on the bank of the Jamuna, Krishna recited various kinds of poetry. He thus enjoyed the company of the gopis in the soothing moonlight of autumn. Sex desire is especially excited in the autumn season, but the wonderful thing about Krishna's association with the gopis is that there was no question of sex desire. It was, as clearly stated in the Bhagavata description by Shukadeva Goswami, avarudha saurataha, namely, the sex impulse was completely controlled. There is a distinction between Lord Krishna's dancing with the gopis and the ordinary dancing of living entities within the material world.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Pati, you want to have a little discussion
Yes,
now?
definitely. Certainly.
Okay. Okay, Karnath, would you like to say something about what you read?
It's just in all of this, when we read about the gopis and Krishna, we realize this is not like some material pastime. This is something completely transcendental and amazing.
It is. Jatari, do you want to say something? Unmute, yeah.
Yes, what I was amazed was I was thinking about when Srila Prabhupada wrote this, you know, what the world was like then and how, you know, like right now there's so much going on in the world, but back then Prabhupada was breaking such new ground. It was so revolutionary to even discuss this. So and that's what I was feeling and thinking about that the time that he would bring this out and just spread it all over the world.
Very timely.
Amazing, you know.
Yeah, wonderful.
The unique thing about Srila Prabhupada's, one of the unique things, was the way that he presented such esoteric, deep philosophical concepts in a way that I think somebody at the beginning of our reading said, you could even read Krishna book to your children. It's like it's the wide net that he spread in order to capture soul's attention was so expert and sublime. They call good writers wordsmiths. He was an expert wordsmith to put this all together in such a way that even now, 50 plus years later, we're still reading the same book with more appreciation than we did even then. It's astounding.
That's spiritual. That's the
Yeah.
definition of spiritual. It's ever fresh. Go deeper and deeper into it. Shall we go on? Anyone
Sure.
else? Okay. Just Murari Chaitanya. I mean Thakur Murari. Thakur, would you like to read this verse?
Okay,
You have to
Krishna.
unmute, Prabhu. Okay.
We heard you for a second. Are you muted? Yes, you're muted. Unmute, Thakur.
Yeah, I'm back, all right?
Okay.
Yes. Good.
Okay, so Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.17
Yes.
Yes.
started Darshan. The sense is overwhelmed by the joy of having his physical association. The gopis could not prevent their hair, their dresses, and the cloths covering their breasts from becoming disheveled. Their garlands and ornaments scattered, O hero of the Kuru dynasty. Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur. The touch of Krishna's body thrilled the gopis with ecstasy. As a result, their hair, bodices, dresses, garlands, and ornaments all became disheveled.
Okay. We're going to run through a few of these verses.
Oh, why not turn that a little bit? I mean, every single
Okay.
one of them has a self sense there.
Okay.
Each one is important.
Well, why don't you tell us about it?
Go ahead, Thakur Murari.
So I'm thinking the word disheveled says a lot in the sense that my understanding is that it means something totally what not say pulled up, so to speak, for want of a better word. Yes.
What's
So,
the word?
disheveled?
Anybody catch that? What?
Disheveled?
Disheveled. Yes.
Yes. Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So what? Yeah, disheveled. In other words, it wasn't all exactly in place. They had been dancing and moving around and lovemaking, and everything became wrinkled and disheveled and no longer symmetrical, like
Right.
women generally like to dance.
Out of order, so to speak. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful vision.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on with the next one. Acharya, would you like to read?
Oh, look at this. It says here, the touch of Krishna's body thrilled the gopis with ecstasy. As a result, their hair, bodices, dresses, garlands, and ornaments. So it's because of his touch. He was aggressively lovemaking with them, touching them, and therefore, as a result, everything became disheveled. It's a little bit different than just by dancing.
Oh boy. Hare Krishna. Okay, Acharya, thank you. That's
Hare
it.
Krishna.
And thank you, Thakur.
Text 18, Sarartha Darshini. The wives of the demigods, observing Krishna's playful activities from their airplanes, were entranced and became agitated with lust. Indeed, even the moon and his entourage, the stars, became astonished. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The heavenly women became agitated by lusty desires for Krishna. The moon, along with the constellations, became astonished. In one version, the word kamardita is in the masculine form modifying the moon, which is male. Thus, the moon, taking up the mood of a woman, was also tormented by lust for Krishna. The demigoddesses traveling in the sky could see the Rasalila, but Yogamaya covered the vision of the males watching the Rasa dance, so they could not see the bodies of the Vraja gopis and their intimate pastimes with Krishna.
What I've done is, for most of these verses, because it's right at the crescendo of the Rasa dance, I've included also Sanatana Goswami's comments. So you can go ahead and, or somebody, do you want him to keep
Okay.
reading or someone else?
Well, I was going to ask Pushkar to read. And Pushkar, you want to read, Prabhu? And then we can have a discussion, Acharya. So
Yeah.
let's see if he's responding. Pushkar. Haribol.
Just not.
Yeah,
Oh,
took
good.
a while here.
Okay, Prabhu.
and
Nice to
thought-
hear you.
Terrible on the phone. Yeah, okay. Seeing the pastimes of Krishna, who is completely filled with the highest bliss, or who attracts all hearts. Who attracts all hearts. Seeing pastimes which were more extraordinary than previous ones. Seeing with affection, or directly with service, pastimes which became identical to he who plays. All the wives of the Devatas, afflicted by desire for the Lord, became bewildered, forgetting everything. First, not considering their qualification for attaining Krishna, they attained a special state of bewilderment. Along with the moon and stars, they became astonished because they had never seen such an event. This indicates that the Rasa dance was most attractive because it increased bhava for Krishna. It was thus superior to all other pastimes, since it increased love for the Lord by its elements like singing and dancing. And even it was undertaken by the Lord himself. It was undertaken with the gopis. In this particular manner, it cannot be accomplished with Devata women or with wives like Lakshmi endowed with reverence, or with other women who are not qualified to kiss the Lord. It can only be accomplished with the gopis, most highly qualified with special rati, endowed with special pure prema. The highest goal can only be accomplished using the finest setting. Thus, Krishna accomplished at this place the rasa dance for the rasa of pure enjoyment. Thus it was said, Tatrara Bhakta Govinda Sri Ratnai. There Krishna began the rasa dance with the best of women. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32.
Okay.
Okay.
Turn that, Pushkar.
What?
Turn that.
Yeah. Oh, I should expand from Sanatana Goswami, right? Sure.
Yes,
Well,
definitely.
You can. I have a question, Pushkar, if you want to start with that. In the first paragraph, the pastimes, it's stated that the pastimes are identical with Krishna. Can you explain that?
Well, he's got the four Asamordva described also by Lord Chaitanya, at least in the CC that we get, the four Lila Kalola Varadi, four extra attributes that Vishnu doesn't have. And one of them is this Lila and the beauty, Sadamoda Rupa Shri, said in a different way. And he plays the flute, has the pastimes, and has his associates and the beauty. And I was today reading again the beginning of Chaitanya. It's the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the first couple of slokas by Sanatana Goswami, and the third sloka, no, the second, let me see here, is because we're talking about astonishment and descriptions. No one can even begin to properly describe the charm of their supreme affection for Hari. All glories above all to the gopis headed by Shri Radhika, who are famous as the Lord's dearmost devotees. No one can even begin, but the Sanskrit is interesting. Nirvaktam ishat api jatu nakopi shakta. Shakta means capable. And no one, it says ko. Who is that person? No one. I like in Sanskrit, they the way they say stuff. It's like it's so great, in English. You say no one can do it. Yeah, the English sounds good, but kopi. Who is that person? In other words, it's always kopi. Siradika prabhutayo nitaram jayanti gopyo nitanta bhagavat priyata prashidha yasam haro parama Saurada Mabdorinam Nirbaktum Isharapi Jatu. Jatu means at any time, possibly. No, who is capable? So all glory above to the gopis. Anyway, this is a verse that I thought of that no one's able to describe it, and how they were so astonished. So even Sanatana Goswami says no one can describe it, but he does a pretty good job.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Kind of skipping ahead too, because it does mention in these purports how about the end of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, even though this is the beginning, first two Mangala Charana verses, first 6 or 7, actually, I forget how many, but at least the second one describing.
Yeah.
Ah,
Kind of like introductory.
Yeah, that was the verse 2.
All right.
Yeah. Lord Chaitanya.
okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Acharya, before we move on, this is what you read. Any realizations or comments on what you read?
Yeah, a comment. I found it really interesting that one interpretation of the verse is that the moon, although the moon is male, is also feeling like that, like the so lusty desires for Krishna. And I can't remember if it's coming up here or if it's another instance when the demigods and their wives are in their airplanes watching Krishna, and the males, the husbands, also started feeling attraction for Krishna, and they actually became embarrassed to think it is whether improper before their wives or improper for a male to feel that way about a male. But I think it's really amazing, showing that it's not limited by whatever material gender we happen to be stuck in right now.
Embodied in.
Right.
But
Not,
does
sorry.
again that the males can't see the gopis.
Yeah, it did mention that. Yes.
So I mean, I guess they just see Krishna dancing around in multi-forms, or
Right. How beautiful.
Multi-forms? You think, was it multi-forms?
maybe
Could have been.
one or many. I guess
Why not? That would be astounding. Anyway, it's astounding, but
whatever I read also included that it's increasing. Right. The first thing that was that it's ever increasing.
it's ever increasing. Wonderful.
So I mean, from chapter like 30, 31, 2, 3, it's increasing.
Thank you.
I don't know about 4 or if it's just ever increasing. Yeah, but it's ever increasing.
Ever increasing. Karnath, thank you, Pushkar Prabhu. And then Bhushra, Karnathji.
I noted that Sanatana Goswami was saying that nobody else was qualified except the gopis, and the other women weren't qualified to kiss Krishna. And I was thinking about Srila Prabhupada's mercy, that I remember he once told us, like, how long have you got to live? You're 20, 30 years old, maybe you 60, 70 years at the most. If you just keep following this program that I've given you for the rest of your life, you will see Krishna and you will kiss Krishna, Prabhupada said.
Mm.
Yay. And when you
That's
chant
right.
Hare Krishna with your lips, you're actually kissing Krishna.
Okay.
Oh. Bhushra, did you want to say something?
Yeah, so in the what showed were the demigods, they weren't able to see the gopis, the female forms.
Right.
But the thing is, just seeing Krishna dance, just like in Lord Chaitanya's Leela, there's no women around, so it's just all men bodies. But just to watch the Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda dance was so unlimitedly beautiful. It would be so totally satisfying.
Yes.
It actually transcends sex desire from male or female.
And
Perfect.
would dance Alata Chakra, which is like the firebrand. In other words, it when you're spinning a stick of fire, it looks like a continual line. So that's something to ponder. Like how does that look like? Chaitanya?
As he spins around, dancing
Yeah.
to the rhythm.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
doing it.
Oh, boy. Okay. So we go on with the next reader. Jagarini, would you like to read?
Sure. Text 19. Expanding himself as many times as there were cowherd women to associate with, the Supreme Lord, though self-satisfied, playfully enjoyed their company. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Krishna then expanded himself into as many forms as there were gopis to enjoy privately with each one in a separate grove. It has already been explained that Sri Krishna is eternally free from all material desire and perfectly situated on the platform of spiritual self-satisfaction, Atmarama.
Do you want to read the next one too? Because that's Sanatana Goswami's.
Sure. Commentary by Sanatana Goswami from Brihad Vaishnava Toshini. 2 verses, 19 to 20, describe the ultimate goal. By his special powers, he expanded himself for each gopi. Some were married, Gopa Yoshitaha. Some were unmarried, daughters of cowherds, or they were all wives of cowherds. Some were married to cowherds, and some regarded themselves as married to Krishna by dedicating themselves to him in the Katyayani Vrat. This is explained by the great devotee Rupa Goswami in Lalita Madhava and other plays. The Lord, who manifested the essence of his qualities, Bhagavan, enjoyed with conjugal ras, Lilya, or is that an I? I can't tell. Is that Ilaya?
Leelaya.
That's an L, Lilaya, or with various amorous activities. He distributed special prema himself, attracting the hearts of everyone in the universe, since he was composed of the special pastimes of the highest prema rasa. That is revealed later and also explained in Bhagavatamrita. Though he was an Atmarama he enjoyed, both these qualities were displayed separately in the nearby bowers. Or in the rasa dance, his Atmarama nature was concealed. His nature as the Lord and as sweetness is indicated by this statement.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Can you comment on that?
Yeah, a couple things. Can we leave the verse up so I can
Sure.
keep looking at it? So I guess that goes to what was said just previously, that there were many forms of Krishna, so that the cowherd men that were watching, they saw a lot of Krishna because he was manifesting different forms for each gopi. And move it up, because that last explanation by Sanatana Goswami was pretty heavy. That he distributed special prema himself, attracting the hearts of everyone in the universe. So it's like he was feeling so much, there was so much going on. There was so much, like you could imagine it being like a nuclear power or something, some really generating this dance that was generating this prema. and the prema was being distributed all over the universe for everybody that could see it or was there observing.
Even if you can imagine, if Krishna is performing the Rasa Leela, everyone in the universe would benefit. How can that not be?
Yeah, I mean, they would just benefit just by seeing Krishna, period, right? But then the fact that he's distributing special prema at the time, how much even more special, you know?
He likes to distribute prema. He does. Who does that remind us of, obviously? Bahusha, thank you.
Yeah, there it's mentioned Atmaram. So then also from 14:55, it says, Krishna Menam Avehi Tvam Atmanam Akilan Atmanam. You should know that Krishna is the original soul of all living entities. And also 11:245, soul of all souls. So the thing is that also it's mentioned there, because we're hearing all this Lalita Madhava is loaded with poetry. So that Uttama Shloka Gunanu Varnarnam, culminating in the transcendental description of the Lord, who is defined by choice poetry. So the pure devotees come out with wonderful poetry.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay.
Karunath, yeah.
There's one thing, Sanatana Goswami's commentaries, they often, expose these multiple meanings.
Yes.
That it could be like this, or it could also be interpreted this way. And like Lord Chaitanya did the Atmarama verse in so many different ways, but he's examining the Sanskrit and the grammar and saying it could be broken this way or explained that way. And I really enjoy that. It's almost like he's having a conversation with himself.
Before we go on, there's actually one more kind of read between the lines point here. That Krishna then expanded himself into as many forms as there were gopis to enjoy privately with each one in a separate grove. So this isn't just dancing. This lasted a night of Brahma. So there's a lot that happens that isn't really described. But if you remember in the very beginning, one of the points being made in the very first verse was that this was a unique night. Because Krishna himself, although being completely self-satisfied, wanted to enjoy with the gopis. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead had a desire. And the entire energy of the universe under the control and workings of Yoga Maya has produced this atmosphere which actually transcends the universe. We read also when Krishna when the gopis put down the cloth and sat down, it was asked how Krishna, or when Krishna was with each gopi, even before he disappeared, it was described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that one grain of sand on the banks of the Jamuna from Vrindavan is so powerful that it can expand itself unlimitedly to provide kunjas, drinks, unguents, atmospheres. So many kunjas are there for all these billions of gopis to fulfill this desire of the Supreme Person. So here he is expanding and enjoying in the groves. It kind of wasn't really elaborated upon, but it's there. Thank you, Dr. Amari. We'll see you on Saturday, hopefully. Got your message.
Very well. Another thing is that Prabhupada is always speaking about how we should give Krishna pleasure by our activities, giving Krishna pleasure. That's the motivation. Why are we doing something? To give Krishna pleasure. So the gopis were giving, he wanted to enjoy with the gopis who are the topmost in giving Krishna pleasure. That level of devotion is so, because when we read these things, I always have to bring it back to how does this apply to me? So on a basic principle, our activities in this world have to be to give Krishna pleasure, and then he'll want to enjoy with us. Otherwise, that's the goal. All right.
Don't forget Bahusha. Last week he didn't read. or last meeting.
No, he did read. I could never forget Bahushra. Okay, Bahushra, you want to read?
Yeah, text 20, Sararti Darshini. Seeing that the gopis were fatigued from conjugal enjoyment, my dear king, merciful Krishna, lovingly wiped their faces with his comforting hand. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. There are two versions of this verse. Tasamrati Vaharena Shantanam, meaning fatigued from conjugal enjoyment, and Tasam Ativa Hirena Shratanam, meaning fatigued from enjoying excessively with them. Seeing how the gopis were tired from conjugal enjoyment, Krishna stopped sporting and lovingly touched their faces with his comforting hands. The word pramrijat implies Krishna who fanned the gopis, massaging their tired bodies with scented oils, applied sandalwood paste, and offered them betel nuts.
Wait, before we go on, I was thinking we'll have another reader and then discuss this. Is that all right, Patti, since
Sure.
it's the same
Yeah.
topic? Ranga, would you like to read? Rangavati, I see you there.
Yes, I'm here. I'd love
Hare
to.
Krishna,
Haribol.
please read.
Commentary by Sanatana Goswami from the Brihad Vaishnava Toshani. They became fatigued by various playful activities befitting the anuraga of couples. He excellently wiped their faces with his hand, composed of the highest bliss, which alleviated their fatigue. Wiping the perspiration and dressing their hair, he made them shine since he was most merciful. Unable to tolerate others' suffering, this was not ordinary mercy since he wiped their faces because of prema. This shows their special nature. Prema, or great affection, arose in his heart because of their good qualities, since they took him alone as the object of possessiveness. This prema became intense at this time and included mercy. Just by his touch, he came relieve them, since his hand is the embodiment of all happiness. In this case, he not only touched them, but wiped their faces, and moreover, did this with prema. Thus the hand not only relieved them of fatigue, but it produced the highest satisfaction.
Okay. Bahuchara, do you want to comment? And then Ranga, if you like to.
The thing is, it's nice because earlier we're just reading that Krishna just touched their faces with the hands, with his own hands, which are lotus-like petals. But at the same time, he also picked up different unguents and oils and sandalwood paste, and then he also applied that. And then you're thinking about how the Kalpavriksha trees are providing everything to manifest. And Vrindadevi is manifesting all these items that are needed at any moment. They're made available for the pleasure of Krishna and the gopis.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
he's doing that in each and every grove with each and every gopi.
Well, thank you. Ranga, do you have something to say about this?
I think Krishna does that in other pastimes, doesn't he? If the demons attack his coward friends, with his hand, he brings them back to their state of consciousness prior to that. And I was thinking on the other verse, when Krishna was with each and every gopi, millions and billions of them, he kind of does a similar thing in residing in the heart of all the living entities. He separately goes with them throughout their lives and millions of lives. He just always is with them separately, which is one of my tremendous faith building parts of Krishna consciousness, is that how can the Supreme Personality of Godhead go with us in the body of all kinds of unmentionable animals and activities, but yet he's there.
There's one thing that was brought out in the purport, Ranga. Maybe you can read it again and kind of see that although what you're saying is certainly valid, there's a unique feature going on here.
This was not ordinary mercy, since he wiped their faces because of prem. This shows their special nature. Prem or great affection arose in his heart because of their good qualities, since they took him alone as the object of possessiveness.
So, okay, that's a description of their prema. But
No, it's his prema.
Oh,
It's his prema. This was not because he wiped their faces because of prema, their prema and his prema.
their prema.
It's not just like seated in everyone. Not that there's no love or attention by the Paramatma in everyone's heart, or even with the cowherd boys or with Nanda and Yasoda. But what's going on here? What is unique about the rasa dance? Why is it considered the most treasured pastime of all the pastimes? Why are the gopis considered the highest worshippers of Krishna? Because this exchange between them elevated his feelings to unprecedented experiences. We'll read later how he even experienced different bodily changes. It's not that these aren't also within him. So the point that kind of jumped out at me was because of the prema, because it became intense. It says here, this prema became intense, and at this time, and included mercy. In other words, just like music, it can go slowly, and then it can kind of increase and increase more and more and more. The same way with that prema, somehow or another, due to the dancing, due to the intimacy. What was the verse here? Due to the seeing the gopis were fatigued from conjugal enjoyment. In other words, in this world, after conjugal enjoyment, it's over. It's like finished, lay down and relax. He's even getting more encouraged and enlivened by their association in these intimate places, and now wiping their faces, and his love is just overpouring and increasing.
Wasn't it, there was I don't know where we read it, but we just read it, that because of the high refined prema and devotion of the gopis, of the most elevated people, this was happening on a very elevated level.
Yes, Pushkar read that purport.
Yeah, between Krishna and the gopis. It's the most refined, the most elevated. But that doesn't mean, as Ranga said, we all have a relationship with Krishna, and we can be encouraged to develop it so that we can have an exchange with him. That we have, that is a faith builder. I believe that too.
Sure.
We have to become encouraged that Krishna, to the extent we are loving him, he is milking us. Even the torture that we go through in this life, he's milking us to love him, to not pay attention to all the insanity around us.
As I mentioned last week, we'll progress after the rasa dance pastimes with more information from the acharyas about the practice of cultivating this kinds of moods. And one of the most famous verses is Seva Saraka Rupena, Siddha Rupena Chatrahi, Tadbhava Lipsana Karya, Vraj Loke Anusarata. Tadbhava Lipsana Karya means to study the moods of the residents of Vrindavan and their love for Krishna, and worship that and try to understand it and try to cultivate it. Tadbhava Lipsana Karya Vraj Loke Anusarata means to follow them. So by hearing these pastimes, just like everybody's wondering, where do I fit in? This practice is part of the sadhana which leads to that result. Hearing these pastimes, associating with them, contemplating them, discussing them, helps awaken one's dormant love for Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, it's beautiful and hopeful. Manvantara, would you like to read?
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Text 21, Sarta Darshini. The gopis honored their hero with smiling glances, sweetened by the beauty of their cheeks and the effulgence of their curly locks and glittering golden earrings. Overjoyed from the touch of his fingernails, they chanted the glories of his all-auspicious transcendental pastimes. Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's commentary. After displaying the mood of controlling their lover by having Krishna adorn them with ornaments, the gopis emerged from their love groves. They gathered in a group to sing the auspicious songs signifying the completion of the rasa dance. The gopis honored Krishna with their golden bangles, locks of hair, cheeks lit by their glittering earrings, and their sweet, smiling glances. Thrilled with the touch of Krishna's nails, they sang of his all auspicious transcendental pastimes.
Hey, would you like to say something about that, Mama Tara?
And I was realizing this is why it's considered confidential, this pastime, because it's so intimate and is so personal. I mean, you can't get any more personal than this. So it's really sweet.
That is true. Wow. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Bhushra.
And then it's mentioned there that how they were controlling Krishna. I mean, here's God himself, and he's actually being controlled by his devotee, and just out of pure love. And that's not recognized among the Madhvas, among the Ramanujis. Ramanujis just say that, oh, Radharani's just a coward girl, you know. So they can't enter into this, the Dasamaskam, this part of the rasa dance. They can't enter into it. But there it is, it's showing right there that they are controlling Krishna by their love. And it's interchangeable, of course.
Beautiful. Ranga.
I wanted to thank Dhruva because what he pointed out, that the gopis, because of their qualities, they're able to have this exchange with Krishna. Whereas Paramatma, if he's in the heart of a horse, that can't really have that exchange. Can't
It's
dance.
evolved a bit.
So, there is a huge different thing there. And I'm glad you pointed that out because there's, it is the highest.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go on. Chitari, would you like to read? Chitari?
Yes. Okay. Sarta Darshini, text 22. Lord Krishna's garland had been crushed during his conjugal dalliance with the gopis and colored vermilion by the kumkum powder on their breasts. To dispel the fatigue of the gopis, Krishna entered the water of the Yamuna, followed swiftly by bees who were singing like the best of the Gandharvas. He appeared like a lordly elephant, entering the water to relax in the company of his consorts. Indeed, the Lord had transgressed all worldly and Vedic morality, just as a powerful elephant might break the dikes in a paddy field. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. After the Rasa Utsava, Krishna and the gopis played in the Yamuna. Just as a husband and wife take an avabritya bath to complete a soma yagna. To dispel his fatigue, Krishna, followed by bees that were the best of singers, entered the waters of the Yamuna, along with the gopis, whose bodies had become stained with the kumkum from their breasts during their conjugal dalliance, and whose garlands were crushed by Krishna's limbs. Krishna appeared like a bull elephant, breaking all the embankments to enter the water and enjoy with his bevy of female elephants. Bina Setu also means Krishna broke the walls or transgressed the boundaries of worldly morality by enacting the rasa dance with his beloved gopis.
Oh, that's a very heavy verse. A lot of commentaries on that. Anyone have something to say about it?
I just had one thing.
Yeah.
The comparisons, comparing like Krishna breaking the dikes or the elephant breaking the dikes in a paddy field, comparing that to Krishna breaking all the rules of engagement. There's so many nice analogies in that verse.
Mhm.
That was it.
What about transgressing all of the boundaries of worldly morality? What is that? And of course, Parikit asked the same question.
Yeah, we'll expand it in that section too.
Should we comment about it now?
If you have something you want to bring out.
No, I was asking. Yes. Okay.
One place,
Okay, go ahead.
that is the one place where most people, they can go maybe that far, but they cannot go into that. And that's another reason why it must be, secret and so
Confidential.
confidential, because they can't allow themselves to enter that because it's ungodly, I guess.
Well, this is God doing it. So therefore, that's the first contradiction. It's godly only because he's doing it. So there's a higher understanding. But you're right. People do become, even Parikit said the same thing, that it was.
He's the only one that could do it.
That's it. He's the only one. Oh,
which is proof. But
yes.
they can't get that far.
Right. No one can.
Maybe one day. I can't get that.
No one can get there. Okay, we have everyone asking now.
It also shows, I think, how important this Leela is, because remember in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling Arjuna how, those who are unattached, they still have to do their duties to set an example for others. And if he himself in Dwarka, he wakes up early and he gives charity and he meditates and all these things, and sets a good example for people. So, and people expect God to do that almost, when they hear that Krishna is dancing with other men's wives, they think, ordinary mundane moralists think, how can your God do that? He's not setting a good example. But it's because he's revealing the highest loving exchanges, the pinnacle of love of God this way. And so it's important enough for him to stop worrying about setting an example.
Good. That's good. Charya?
Yeah, at the risk of encroaching too much on the discussion at the end of the chapter, one time one Indian man, this is from memory, not verbatim, but one Indian man said to Prabhupada like that, oh, Krishna is immoral because he's enjoying other men's wives. And Prabhupada said, no, all women belong to Krishna. You're immoral for trying to enjoy any of them.
That's cool. Very good. Thank you. Bhusha?
But Krishna, in his different incarnations, he was not able to accommodate conjugal mood with the different devotees that wanted to enjoy with him conjugally.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
Therefore, the different incarnations said, you come when I come in Dwapara Yuga as Krishna, and then you can enjoy with me. So that's proof positive that Krishna is the topmost enjoyer and the topmost original personality of Godhead.
Very good. That's beautiful. Thank you. Okay. How about Faye? Would you like to read, Faye?
Haribol, yes, Mataji, I will read.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, text 23, Saratha Darshini. My dear king, in the water, Krishna found himself being splashed on all sides by the laughing gopis who looked at him with love. As the demigods worshipped him by showering flowers from their airplanes, the self-satisfied Lord took pleasure in playing like the king of elephants.
Go on.
Text 24, Sharatha Darshini. Then the Lord strolled through a small forest on the bank of the Jamuna. This forest was filled to its limits with breezes carrying the fragrances of all the flowers growing on the land and in the water, followed by his entourage of bees and beautiful women. Lord Krishna appeared like an intoxicated elephant with his she-elephants. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. After playing in the water, drying and massaging their bodies, and dressing in their favorite clothing and ornaments supplied by the Manjaris, Krishna and the gopis entered the countless groves on the bank of the Jamuna for special pastimes. The groves had wide horizons, served by breezes carrying the aroma of flowers growing in the water. Krishna, surrounded by buzzing bees and love-filled gopis, ambled along like a maddened elephant as he entered the groves.
Oh my goodness. Can you say something about that, Faye?
Krishna knows how to have fun.
That's for sure. Transcendental fun. Only the highest fun.
I like the mention of the bees.
I can't hear you.
I
All of a
like,
sudden, yeah.
Go on.
I like the mention of the bees and the fact that there's flowers blooming out of season. The bees are buzzing at nighttime. The moon has been full for countless days, and everybody's still happy. It's a beautiful, beautiful pastime to read about and hear.
Good. Excellent. Thank you. All right.
Sama,
Let's go. What? Yeah.
Sudasattva,
I'm going to-
and Madan. Maybe what we can do is have
You must be reading my mind.
Okay,
I was just going to
the
tell.
verse in the first paragraph, and then the rest
Yes.
of it somebody else.
Better I don't read.
Oh,
Oh, you
okay.
don't want to read? Okay, Madan. It's nice to hear your voice anyway. Hare Krishna.
Aye.
Okay, so Sudasattva, would you like to read?
Sure, Sindhu.
Sindhu Sud. No, it's Suda Sindhu. Suda Sindhu. Are you there?
Yes,
Hello. Would you like to
yes,
read?
yes, that's 25, eh?
Yes.
That's 25. Sarata Dashini.
Good.
Although the gopis were firmly attached to Lord Krishna, whose desires are always fulfilled, the Lord was not internally affected by any mundane sex desire. Still, to perform his pastimes, the Lord took advantage of all those moonlit autumn nights, which inspire poetic descriptions of transcendental affairs. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. In summarizing the Rasa Lila, which occur on the full moon night of the autumn season, the Bhagavatam indicates that similar pastimes with the same variety and splendor took place on other nights of the year. By the influence of Yoga Maya, Krishna enjoyed the whole night, which extended for the night of Brahma under the shooting rays of the full moon. Krishna took advantage of the Vrindavan nights to relish conjugal pastime with his beloved gopis. The word Shiseva comes from the root sev, to serve. This implies that all the nights which were suitable for the Rasa Lila were thereby enjoyed or served in the most respectful way. This is similar to the expression, the devotees enjoy or honor Mahaprasadam.
That is a really, can you explain that? Can you give it, do you get what that means? Sindhu, Suda Sindhu? Can someone explain that before we go on? Bahushra? Look at that. That's great. Read that.
Comes, say, nights. Especially. Well, anything that's meant, just like prasadam that's been taken by a pure devotee becomes Maha Prasadam. So with Krishna being the origin of all this wonderful prasadam, it automatically becomes Maha Prasadam. It's my 2 bits.
Well, the two, okay, Akornath, I just wanted to mention real quick, the two words that were used was to honor and to enjoy. So that we do with Mahaprasad. We honor Mahaprasad and we enjoy Mahaprasad.
Well,
In the
there's also transcendental. Like one time on Tamar Krishna's plate, there was a gulabjamun, and he looked the other way, and the other devotee took it and ate it. And so Tamar got so upset, and then they went to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, "Well, there's those who honor prasadam, and there's those who steal prasadam. They're both transcendental."
Must be. Acharya?
Yeah, I thought the idea was that service and the enjoyment are the same thing. Like with prasad, the enjoyment of prasad is service. And when you do the service of honoring prasad, naturally you get enjoyment. So
Okay.
I thought that he was paralleling that with this pastime, that it's service and it's enjoyment.
Yeah. Good.
I could say one thing.
Oh yeah, Pushkar.
Uh,
And then Akarna.
Prahlad's prayers, I forgot the number of it, but there's that verse, Naisha Parabharamatir Bhavatonu Syaj. Anyway, it basically says Para Avara, that he's talking to the Shringadev in this thing, that you are not affected by Para Avara, something being higher or lower, but only according to Sam Sevaya, Prashada, you give Prashad, the mercy, according to service. Just like a desire tree, you ask for something, you get it. So Naisha Paravata, some say Prashada, like that. Sevana Rupam Udayo, the last line, according to Sevana Rupa means the form of your service. And again, it's interesting because it emphasizes that the last word is almost like the first word, Paravara. And then again, it says Paravara at the end of the shloka. It's amazing. It's 30 something. I can't remember the number, but it's and Prabhupada lectured on it in 76 in Mayapur on all those verses till he built up till he got to the famous verse that describes Lord Chaitanya.
Well, give us the translation of that verse.
Yeah, so according to service, it emphasizes that Nrsimhadev or Krishna rewards you, gives you prashad, which we're talking about, mercy. According to your service. It doesn't matter. He doesn't think, oh, this person's higher or lower. No, only if you would. And probably gave the explanation as the famous verse in the Gita, 4th chapter. Yayatamam.
Yayatam. That's it.
Oh, that's a short way of saying, but this verse, which I could find it, I'll tell you what it is. But anyway, it's a great verse. Psalm Sevaya, because it's service word in the last two lines. Sevana Rupa. Rupa means form of your service.
Seva Rupa Siddhaya.
Some Sevaya Prashada. I'll find the number of the verse on my other phone.
Chatrahi. That's the Chatrahi.
That's a different verse.
That's a different one.
This is all 7th canon, 9th chapter.
Same word, different verse. Yeah.
Okay, Karnath.
Actually, I was just really gonna agree with what everybody was saying, that it's when we honor prasad, it's not just that we're enjoying delicious food. We're worshiping that this food and its relationship with Krishna is spiritual, divine, transcendental food. And at the same time, though, like Acharya said, it's quite enjoyable. But that was like that these pastimes, the Gopis' enjoyment was not at all selfish. It was full of love, for Krishna, and full of transcendental.
Let's take a look at the exact wording used by Vishwanath. I think it'll shed light on what the topic is. Krishna took advantage of the Vrindavan nights to relish conjugal pastimes with his beloved gopis. The word shiseve comes from the root save, to serve. This implies that all the nights which were suitable for the Rasa Lila were thereby enjoyed or served in a most respectful way. This is similar to the expression, the devotees enjoyed or honored Mahaprasad. So I think what Vishwanath's doing is he's revealing that Krishna enjoyed, but at the same time, everyone was respectful of where they were, what the pastime was, or what the environment was. It wasn't just a undisciplined mayhem. They were respecting everything around them in nature and appreciating the evening, and at the same time enjoying one another and
It's a wonderful
enjoying the whole
example.
pastime.
It's a wonderful example that we can actually relate
With
to.
the prasadam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was splendid that Vishwanath Chakravarti is giving us that example. Let's go on and
we should finish the
okay.
meeting.
Bahutra, would you like to read the next one? Read this.
Okay, because Krishna's conjugal sports with the gopis were not material, Krishna is called Satyakamaha, one whose desires are always fulfilled. Satya means the form of the absolute truth, and Kama means pastimes of love. In other words, Krishna enjoyed in the pastimes of love, which are the absolute truth, and the source of all pure selfless love. Though Krishna is the original source of all loving enjoyment, he made the gopis the cause of that enjoyment. Thus, Krishna is described as Anurata Abala Ganaha, one who followed after the pleasure of the gopis. Though Krishna causes everyone's pleasure, he himself was attracted to the gopis for pleasure. The word Abala also suggests that the gopis were unmatched in their strength or power to express pure love. Krishna's mind was completely absorbed in conjugal pastimes during the rasa dance. Therefore, Krishna is described as Atmani Avarudha Surataha, one whose mind was completely absorbed in everything related to conjugal activity, such as the erotic emotions, gestures, indifference, insults, the vyabhichari bhavas like perverseness, eagerness, a joy, and the sattvika bhavas such as being stunned, sweating, change of color, and the anubhavas of seeing, touching, talking, and embracing. The same usage of the word sarataha up. Move it up. Thank you. Indicating the many elements of conjugal love appears in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:60-58. Thus, the self-satisfied Supreme Lord of the universe enjoyed with Rukmini, engaging her in erotic loving talks, Sarata Samlapa, and thus imitated the ways of human society.
Okay. Let's have Acharya finish up and then we'll have a discussion. Acharya?
The word samlapa included in the verse above is descriptive of the enjoyment. The word sorata is devoid of a descriptive element except to indicate all the other romantic expressions and emotions involved in conjugal relationships. Krishna enjoyed the Rasa Leela every night for 12 months. What kind of nights were they? In the phrase Sarva Sharat Rasashrayaha, the word Sharat can mean just the month of autumn or the period of 1 year, according to the Amara Kosha dictionary. Thus, these nights were nights endowed with the virtues of all the 6 seasons in a year, of which all the rasas expressed in poetic works take shelter. Rasa indicates the spiritual bliss one derives from his loving relationship with Sri Krishna. This ecstatic bliss is relished between Krishna and his devotees during various transcendental pastimes. Great Vaishnava poets like Vyasa, Parashara, Jayadev, Leela Shuka, Bilvamangal Thakur, Govardhanacharya, and Srila Rupa Goswami, being inspired by those beautiful autumn nights, have wonderfully described Krishna's Rasa Leela and his conjugal affairs with the Vraja Gopis, which are most difficult to comprehend. Since I am incapable of describing these affairs completely, I have given only a synopsis here.
Hare Krishna. That's Vishwanath Chakrabarti speaking. Okay, let's have a little discussion on this.
You see that word surato, jaitam surato pangor mamamandamatir gati.
Mm-hmm.
That where it comes from, this came first, said Bhagavatam. So that sloka, I think Kaviraj Goswami describing Sambandha Gyan and
And what does Sorata mean?
Surato, Jaitam Surato means when they're Radha Krishna are attracted to each other, or the gopis and Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Wow. Thank you.
Conjugal.
This part reminded me of Lord Chaitanya. We often read, and because we're exposed to it, the descriptions of Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are several throughout the whole book, but mostly Madhya Lila, first part, and then in the Antya Lila, about the expressions that overwhelmed his body when he was in the mood of Srimati Radharani, feeling separation from Krishna. But very rarely do we read about Krishna enjoying the sambhoga, the union of himself being with the gopis. But read here, therefore, Krishna is described as Atmani Avarudha Saurata, one whose mind was completely absorbed in everything related to conjugal activity. In other words, he's completely overwhelmed, such as erotic emotions, gestures, indifference, insults, the avabhachari bhavas like perverseness, eagerness, and joy. The sattvika bhavas, such as being stunned, sweating, change of color, and the anubhavas of seeing, touching, talking, and embracing. So he's completely overwhelmed. It's a beautiful description. There's another description that when the ecstasy of Lord Jagannath is the form of Jagannath, is Krishna in an ecstatic experience. Big wide open eyes, big smile, stumped arms. So who knows what this form that Krishna displayed was, with all these different features of conjugal enjoyment reeking everywhere in his body, with billions of gopis in every single grove and dancing together.
Right. He's experiencing everyone's love. He's experiencing that profound, deep, the highest love ever from all of these different living entities, from all of the billions of gopis. It's hard to conceive. Acharya.
And it's also interesting mentioned here that this was happening every night. Every night of the year.
And the nights were long.
Yeah. And each night was, as long as a night of
12 months.
And sometimes it's described that when Mother Yashoda went to wake up Krishna in the morning, and he would just be too tired and he couldn't get up. And she was wondering, oh, Lala, Krishna, you went to sleep early. How come you can't get up now? Not knowing that he was out cavorting all night long.
Yeah, this explains why, huh?
So does God's body get tired?
That verse is from Prahlad about the service in relation to Prasad. That's not 7:9:27. Great verse, and you could find probably lectured on it in 76 in my book.
7:9:27.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the verse? You have it there in front of you. Read the verse.
Okay. Naishapara, I'll do the English.
Yes, thanks.
Let's see. Unlike an ordinary living entity, my Lord, you do not discriminate between friends and enemies, the favorable and the unfavorable, because for you there is no conception of higher and lower. Nonetheless, you offer your benedictions, prasad, according to the level of one's service, exactly as a desire tree delivers fruits according to one's desire and makes no distinction between lower and higher.
Beautiful. That's perfect. That is the verse. That is the verse of the year. Thank you.
Jai. So in this pastime, it wasn't very expanded upon. The water pastimes with Krishna and the gopis in the Jamuna after the rasa dance when they went to relieve their fatigue. But there was a pastime where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered into meditation on that Leela and
That's
expand
un-
it. And it's the next lesson. So we'll be reading that on Saturday.
Is that
And
Ancha 19 or
yeah.
20?
19.
19. You know,
Yes.
interesting. I don't know if it's interesting to anybody but me, but definitely I was doing night guard while Prabhupada was
Oh, wow.
that pastime, right? I'm outside his room.
Are you serious? You were
Yeah.
hearing him narrate that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a benediction for you. You're in Mayapur, you're out on the terrace, on the walkway.
I was supposed to be sleeping, you know, it's the middle of
The Mayapur atmosphere is surrounding you, and you're hearing Prabhupada speak that pastime. Wow,
Yeah, I
Pushkar,
was
give me
supposed
some
to
of
be-
that dust.
Your life is perfect, Prabhu.
Yeah,
I was
really.
supposed to be
Help.
sleeping. I was supposed to be sleeping. I
Better you
shouldn't be-
weren't at that time.
No.
Hare
And then he was
Krishna.
talking about the pink lotuses and the blue
Yes.
lotuses, the Krishna's hands and
Oh my
the
God,
gopis
how wonderful.
and the breasts and the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Wow.
So everybody keep
Fortunate
your eyes
soul.
open for that upcoming features.
I think is it the same chapter where we're talking about the famous sonnet that
Advaitacharya?
Advaitacharya sent. There's no rice available in the marketplace anymore.
I can't remember if it ends like that or not. It's been a while since I put it up.
But anyway, I was there also doing night duty when he was recounting, dictating that, translating that on the spot.
Wow.
Wow. Very nice. Thank you, everyone, for your
All
association.
glories to the Rasa dance.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Kripa
Kripa
Sindhuyevacha,
Sindhuyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavabhyo, Namo Namah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.